Hey guys, hope you're well. Want to do a quick video. I know it's been a while, but we'll have a lot to cover in the future. And I want to start out by expressing my sincerest regrets. I will not be able to make it to the Father's Day protest, which is really a huge bummer for me. I initially had it in my mind, because I'm so disorganized, that Father's Day was at the end of June, not in the middle of June, but I am heading back to New York. I'm on a family foundation, so I support an organization that gives scholarships to kids who need it for dance programs in northern Manhattan and parts of the Bronx. So they got some cash riding on it because of me, so I want to deliver for them and help those in need. So unfortunately, because of that I will not be there, which hurts me to my heart, because this is going to be a huge event, and I hope you all go. And before I forget, I hope you donate. I'll have the link for the GoFundMe to AuditLA's GoFundMe. She needs all the help she could get. But that's why I want to talk. That's why I wanted to do this video. I wanted to essentially support AuditLA, and I can't bring that much to the conversation, but I could kind of analyze journalistic ethics. At least I have a master's degree in journalism, for what it's worth. And you can say I'm not a journalist, and we can have that subjective conversation all day long. But at least I have a degree in it. And whether Audit thinks of herself as a journalist or not, or whether other people think of Audit as a journalist or not, she is a journalist. She's more of a journalist than me in a lot of senses, because she is able to find key information out of complete thin air. She's able to go to these city council meetings, and through all the machinations and all the back and forth and all the motions, she's able to laser in on what's important, what we should be focused on in the future. And she broadcasts that to her audience. So that is journalism. There could be activism journalism, which I think Audit is an example of that. So she's a journalist, and a fine one at that. And if you're an activist journalist, what you want to do is you want to promote events on the topic that you're fighting against. That's activism journalism. So Audit wanted to promote her really quite historic, I think, ultimately Father's Day event. So I just kind of wanted to indicate and show that I completely support that decision 100%. It is your job to make as many people show up to this event as you can. And it speaks volumes about somebody to shove aside any personal feelings or animus that they had with their friend, and to try to be above that and think, listen, we need this guy's support, and that is that. And if our event is not broadcasted by somebody with 240,000 subscribers, then we might lose people. And there's no sense in kicking yourself in the foot in that regard. So I just kind of wanted to give my 2 cents and say, in order to be effective, you have to broadcast your message, and Audit is doing everything right. She absolutely should have gone on to Aaron's channel, and I think for anybody to berate her otherwise, I think is quite unacceptable. And I think they might have to do some self-reflection and think, are you really doing everything you can to get rid of the cult of Scientology? If you're angry at somebody because they're appearing with somebody who said unkind things about you, and you think that's a deal killer, and you think that's worth losing perhaps 10, 20, 30, 40 people at this protest, you just have to do that self-reflection. Think, what is your actual goal? Is your actual goal to elicit support and become a distraction from the issue, or is your goal to get more and more people involved in this protest? I don't think Audit even needed to tell Lara that she was going on with Aaron. I don't think it's any of Lara's business what the hell Audit does. And Audit, I relate to Audit in this way. She's magnanimous. She's like me. She doesn't hate people. It's so refreshing to have somebody involved in this community whose heart is just not full of vitriol, and who is trying to divide people and force people to take sides. Audit is somebody with a big heart. She's kind of like me. She sees people hate me for that too. When I say, I appreciate when Aaron does this. I appreciate when DOA does this. She sees the best people. I see the best in people. That's how you're an effective leader. It's kind of ironic. I mean, I think if you want to judge on the merits, Audit is the leader of this movement. And that's another thing I was thinking about. All of this is, you have to respect the leader. and you have to essentially follow through in this new cult-like atmosphere. I don't care who the leader of the movement is. I care who the most valuable member of the movement is. I don't care who's the figurehead. I don't care who has the most subscribers. I care about the people who are putting in the legwork and giving us information that we need to have and are organizing people, albeit quietly, to take down the Church of Scientology. I think we get so focused on who are the certain stars of this community that we lose track of the people who are assiduously and quietly doing the work. So I don't think Audit feels that bad about the situation, and she even, her and Lara were relatively chill at the end, so maybe this has been blown up bigger than it has, and I hope Lara shows up. But it doesn't matter if she'll show up or not, and I hope that Audit continues her efforts on this, whether her showing up should be irrelevant. Now, she's a great communicator. She's a powerful story. I think her presence would make a huge difference at the protest, and I really do hope she goes. But I'm just so tired of, the friend of my friend is my enemy. Lara doesn't ever have to go on with Aaron, but she should not tell Audit what to do. And she should not say, another thing is she said people had to be more sensitive because she broke up with DOA. Like, bro, you chose him in the first place. So I don't think anybody, oh my God, he is such a horrible boyfriend. Now we must really be sensitive. You chose him in the first place. That's on you. Okay? So I don't think there's any sensitivity. People break up. That's what happens in human life. People get together, then they break up. Some people choose people who are volatile and perhaps psychotic and perhaps drug-addled, and they break up. That's just what happens in human life. So for anybody to act differently because she ended her relationship is absolutely a chicanerous thought, in my opinion. It was almost as if like, oh, well, since this new thing happened, therefore Audit didn't have permission to be on with Aaron. Irrelevant. Lara's entire story is irrelevant to Audit trying to get people for this protest. That's what matters. So I just wanted to compliment Audit LA for being an effective journalist. And look, she's so magnanimous. There isn't going to be a continued beef with her and Lara. I think it's over. I think she lets things go fairly easily, unlike other people. And they'll both move ahead. So I don't think it's that big of an issue, but I will say as a journalist, Audit is doing everything right, and she is being a journalist. And as a journalist, the most important thing to do is to get that information out there. And if you're an activist journalist, create events, create awareness. That's part of journalism too, and getting as many people as you can to show up. As for, was Aaron cynical? No, man. Again, I've spoken out against the dude, but just because he has been abusive doesn't mean that everything you do is cynical and evil. And I think Aaron wants to help out this protest. I was quite disappointed that he no longer wanted to promote any of the protesters. I'm glad he's changing that position. I think that's a step in the right direction. Obviously, we've rehashed the abuse stuff, whatever. At this point, Jen has made her decision, right? So I don't know if there's much you need to constantly remind people of or overanalyze. And if something is at a standstill, you just kind of move on from it, ultimately. I don't think I would still go on Aaron's show, not that it'll ask me. But, at this point, I respect his work. And a lot of this stuff was 6 months ago, and people made the decisions that they made. He still has a lot to answer for, don't get me wrong. And I think he's committed abuse in a lot of ways. But at the same time, that doesn't negate the fact that he is, I think he's promoting this to get people at a key event. And a lot of that stuff happens a long time ago. Maybe he's done some self-healing. Maybe he hasn't. But there hasn't been anything new and controversial. So I think ultimately to connect with him and get his audience for this event is only a good thing. Whether you hate him, whether you love him, whether you have mixed emotions about him like me, it doesn't matter. And Audit should not have ever thought to ask permission from Lara to be on. Lara does not control her. And quite frankly, not that you have to compare the two, but I respect Audit a lot more now than I respect people in the DOA and gang. So, again, you value the people who are quiet and are not causing division. And Audit's not going to do anything further about this because she doesn't want to cause division. So, of course, I'll be the whore and I'll make a little video about it. But just wanted to indicate that she's doing everything right. GoFundMe, GoFundMe is in the link, so you'll be able to have that. So please do donate. I do regret missing you guys, but again, I had to go to my family foundation out in New York, and it's the same day as the foundation meeting. So at the end of June, there might be a hearing. I may or may not show up for ZDT. I'm probably going to wait for a full-on scheduled trial. And same with DOA. He has another hearing. I don't think he'll have the trial so soon, but maybe, and that would be in July. So maybe I'll cover some more of those in July. Some other interesting thing. I don't know if anybody's going to be interested in it. Nobody was interested in the Canadian stuff, but it was fun to do because you see all this division and shit that happens. It's nice just to get away from it. So I'll be covering the mayoral election, which, you know, I ran for city council when I was younger. So I know a lot of people in that field. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. You know, it's the socialists Zoran Mandami versus King Andrew Cuomo, so that'll be fun. And I'm going to try to get into the Diddy trial for the last week. I don't think I'll be able to get into it. Everybody says, why don't you cover these high-profile trials? One of the reasons I don't, because I don't think I could get in. But you don't know until you try, so I don't know what that process is like. Do you show up at 5 in the morning? Then can you get in? Can you never get in? Is it a crapshoot? Is it easier than you think? I don't know. So I'll try with the Diddy stuff. Other than that, a lot easier to get into. Congresswoman McIver out in Newark, New Jersey has a hearing for protesting outside of the ICE facility with the Alina Habba, the U.S. attorney appointed by Trump, initially filing charges against Ross Baraka, the mayor, which he dropped, who's now running for governor, and Congresswoman McIver. So that will be an interesting hearing. And then I'll head west to get to L.A. So as I head west, I think in about 5 weeks from now, there'll be a trial with the Wisconsin judge. It's an interesting case who gave an immigrant heads up that ICE was going to grab them. So she has her hearing. So those will be a lot more accessible and easier to get into. And then lastly, there is a sentencing for Lisa Finley for the Elvis trial. Let me know if you want me to go to that. Ultimately, it became less sexy because she pleaded not guilty, and now she's pleading guilty. This is the scam, that woman who tried to take Graceland. So she does have her sentencing. Let me know if you want me to fly out to Memphis for that. I'd say probably not. But that should be the rub. Slowly heading east. Eventually, I'll get back west. But just want to show my support for Audit and how I value the people who are really MVPs in this community. Have been consistently the whole time. And it's tough. It's tough to... You know, it's a bummer. It's like, I can relate. It's like, it's tough to be kind and appreciate everybody and like everybody, and people hate you for liking that other person, and you'll get punished for it. But I hope she realizes that anybody who feels like that are having irrational, illogical, and mean feelings that she should not take into account and that are not relevant to her work. So whether Larix shows, whether she doesn't, she should show, but still, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. She's still a soldier on, and I hope you guys attend. I'm sorry I will not be there. Oh, and also another thing is, she said she never got invited by streamers to be on. Probably true. I never invited her. I'd love to have her on. My channel is a hell of a lot smaller than Aaron's, but AuditLA is welcome to be on my channel anytime. Maybe she's interested. She leaves comments on my YouTube, so I appreciate that. So if she leaves a comment, she could leave one, and maybe we can set something up, or I can email her, or she can email me. Email is dodge.landisman@gmail.com. But maybe we'll have a little conversation with her a day or two or three before the protest. But just want to show my respect, my love, my appreciation for somebody who's very intelligent, very kind, and very hardworking. And that's all you could really ask for when you're looking for somebody to be a soldier against Scientology. And she's a soldier I think many of us hold dear. So just wanted to show my support. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.